Hello fellow beaders, this is Melissa from PeaceNotchJewelry.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a beaded cabochon. I first showed you this technique in my last video where I showcased a necklace from the February bargain bead box. I wanted to do an earring set because the current cabochons that I just got are a little bit easier to work with. The key to being a beginner with bead embroidery and specifically beading a cabochon is you want your cabochon to be either round or not so thick edges. This is pretty flat. I got these agates when I went to the gym fair, so I got some really pretty ones. And then I had two sets that looked identical, so I wanted to make some earrings out of it. Again, that's just a suggestion about the shape and then the height of the bead. Anybody can do anything they want, so I don't want to, push you away from working with one of your favorite cabochons that you already have. So the supplies that you're going to need are a beading mat. You can find these at any bead store. It just helps keep everything still, including your beads. You're going to need a FireLine. I did work with an 8-pound black satin. You can also probably use a 6-pound weight as well. You're going to need this GS Hypo cement. I used it to glue down the cabochon onto the Beading Foundation. I used it in black. You'll also need that. I did use E6000 to glue down the suede. This is the backing on the back side. You can use the cement if you want. I just like the cement for really difficult to glue down, and then the less strength, easier pieces, I do the E6000. You will need a lighter, a size 11 beading needle. I like John James the best, and then a pair of scissors. Oh, and last but not least, I almost forgot about the beads. You will need a Delica size 11 bead as well as a size 15 bead. So I'll put the exact numbers of the Delicas down below, but today I used a dark gray with the white, also the red, and then almost like this clear finish here. So let's get started. cord all the way through the beads, we're going to start a peyote stitch. First, pick up a bead, then take your needle and insert it through the bead one over from where your cord exits from. Pull through and see how the bead lays on top of the last bead. So pick up one bead, skip the next bead, and insert your needle through the next bead. Like so. Pull through, and again it stacks neatly on top. Sometimes you have to move around the bead, assist it if you will. Follow the same process all the way around, where you pick up a bead, insert your needle through the next bead, and watch as the bead lays on top nicely. I'll meet you at the end. We are at the end and we need to level up. So insert your needle through the next bead and then cross it over into the next row, leveling up. Pull to tighten. Pick up one bead, skip one bead and go into the next bead like so, and follow the same format just like you did for the first row all the way around. We're at the end of the second row and now we need to level up for the third time just like we did for the second round. Now we're ready to start with the size 15 beads. Pick up a size 15 bead, insert it through the next size 11, and do the peyote stitch like you've done the previous two rows, except this time you're picking up one size 15. You want there to be tension because the whole reason for the size 15 beads is to enclose the cabochon tightly around, so don't be afraid to pull, not hard, but gently on the cord to kind of create that tension. Continue this all the way around and I will meet you at the end. We are at the end and adding the very last bead. Again, you are going to level up by inserting it through those two beads. There we go. We've enclosed the cabochon. We have 2 layers of the size 11 and 1 layer of the size 15. Now we're going to run our cord from the front to the back, kind of like zigzagging if you will, so that we can get our needle running to the back. Okay, so run your needle from the front to the back. Now we have the cord coming out of the back of the beading material. Pardon me while my string gets caught. Now we are going to use the glue to glue on the second half of our bead. Now that you have it glued in place, you just want to press down on it hard just to get it nice and tight and hopefully dry quickly against your beading foundation. And now we're going to do the same exact stitching for the top half. Great job, everyone. You've completed your first and second cabochon wrapped in peyote stitch. Now we are going to cut the beading foundation into the desired shape. Just make sure that you do not cut any of the cords that you've used on the back side. So I would highly suggest that you take a look at the back and just leave a little bit of space so you can do a beaded edge. Be careful, again, not to cut any cords. Go slow. Do not rush this process because many a times I have made a mistake and cried and given up, but just keep going. Okay, we have successfully cut the beading foundation and we didn't cut any cords, as you can see. So now we're ready to cut the Ultrasuede in the same exact shape. Okay, now we're going to lay the cabochon down flat. Take off the Ultrasuede and grab your Hypo cement or E6000 and dab some on the beading foundation and attach your Ultrasuede. Now we're ready to create the beaded edging on the side. You're going to grab your size 11 Miyuki seed bead in the red, 2 of them total. You're going to run your needle from the back to the front, laying the beads like so, running your needle through the second bead. And as you can see, the first bead is laying kind of wonky and the second bead is laying correctly. You will fix this first bead at the very last step. So do the same process all the way around, picking up one bead, taking your needle from the back to the front and running it up through the top and pulling to tighten. And I'll meet you at the very end. Now we are at the end, and we need to deal with that very last bead that is acting wonky. So sometimes it's easier to flip your piece around. Take your needle, run it from the top to the bottom, catching some of that Ultrasuede, pulling to tighten, and see how the bead kind of locks into place, and then run your needle from the bottom to the top through the next bead. Now we're going to complete the edging. I call this a Piquet edge with size 15 seed beads. In order to do the Piquet stitch, you're going to be coming out through the bead with your cord, picking up 3 beads and going down through the next bead. Again, go up through the next bead. Picking up 3 more beads and going back down through the next bead. You're going to continue this however long you want around the edging. You can do this all the way around or just at the bottom or the bottom and the sides like I did. Do it however your heart's desire. and I'll meet you at the end. So we were at the end. Again, I just did the Piquet around the sides and the bottom. Now we need to get our needle up towards the top so we can create that little hook, if you will, so our ear wire can go through it. So you're going to do the same thing like you did all the way around, where you go up a bead, down a bead, up a bead, down a bead. The only exception now is you're not picking up any beads. You just want to get to the center top so that you can create that loop for the ear wire to go through. So I'll meet you up there. So I'm at the top and I'm going to pick up 8 beads total. This will create the loop for my ear wire. String them on the cord. Take your needle 3 over, down on the 4th. Sometimes it's easier to turn around your piece and go down. And then go back up through all of the beads to create a stronger loop. You're going to do this twice, going back up through the beads. Now you have that loop and you've reinforced it going through twice. And now you're just going to run your needle through the next couple of cords to kind of create an even sturdier loop. And now you're just going to tie off and cut your cord and burn the edge. Yay, we're finally done. We have 2 matching beaded cabochon earrings. Super fun. Thank you all so much. Happy beading.